I think I'm going to spill a little tea. She was just such a bitch. He wanted to always go out the back entrance. You don't know who I am. I was like, is she gonna bitch him? I don't know, maybe somebody took a shit in her trailer. I don't know what happened that day. We were warned about her. Like, other people were like, oh my God, she's made people cry before. Okay, so I'm finishing up doing my makeup real quick, and I just thought, me and my boyfriend were just talking about something, and it was really funny. I'm like, should I say this? Should I post this? Okay, so I've been a stylist and in retail for the last like 10 years. And I lived in Los Angeles and Hollywood. And then I moved to Vegas about a year ago. So I've worked with like a lot of celebrities and like a lot of crazy people over the years with like different companies. So we were like getting weak about some of the crazy like LA experiences and like celebrity experiences, and just cracking up talking to each other. So I thought like maybe it would be funny to talk about some of the people that I've worked with. And then I'm like, no, I shouldn't do that because that's like super shady to like talk about, you know, people, you know, you don't want to be like, I don't want to be like super shady. That's not really my thing. But these people are assholes, and they've got an amazing life. Like, obviously it's not gonna hurt them. Like, they've got, you know, money, they're set, they've got like sexy partners. Like, I feel like they're good. I don't work for the companies anymore, so I'm like, what kind of loyalty do I really owe? Like, I'm like, should I spill the tea? Because it's kind of like funny, and they're my own experiences. Like, take them as they may. You know, it could be like a bad day for them at like, you know, something shitty happened, the tire popped, and then this and that and that. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe they're good people, but
sometimes when you deal with their ass 7 times.
yeah. We'd have a lot of people, and it was right, you know, in Beverly Hills, right by Rodeo Drive, so we would get some characters. You know, it wasn't like off the rack, so you get a lot of like celebrities who wanted that. So I think I'm going to spill a little tea and talk about some of the people that were not so nice to deal with, that were kind of crazy, and maybe just like do a little bit of healthy gossiping. Okay, we're stuck in quarantine. I've got nobody to gossip to. Like, my boyfriend has heard all my stories. Like, we're about to kill each other. So I'm getting ready, like, just for fun. So I just thought, you know, maybe I could like make a video and talk about some of this, you know. One of the biggest bitches who like tops the list, she was like honestly one of my favorite people. So like, I'm a huge High School Musical fan. I'm gonna put that out there. I love High School Musical. I have younger sisters. I still watch it. So Ashley Tisdale, we did her wedding, and then we also did a friend's wedding of hers that she was in. Oh, higher the hair, Jesus. My eye. Damn, that's dramatic. My baby hairs are out of control. Okay, so where was I? It was Ashley Tisdale. We worked on her wedding. I actually wasn't a part of the stylist team that worked on her wedding originally. I worked on her friend's wedding, Samantha Drake, where she was a maid of honor. One of her bridesmaids or a maid of honor, I can't remember at this point, but she was just such a diva coming in, and I loved her. She was like very nasty. Like, we did so many extra fittings for her. She said I didn't know what I was talking about and would like take things right out of my hands as I was like styling, and it's not off the rack, so you can't just like pull something and I'm trying to explain like, oh, there's different like colors and like fabrics that this comes in, and it can be made through the designer, and there's only certain like swatches and certain like time frames for the day, to trying to like explain this to her, and she's just trying to like run the entire appointment, and just, I don't know, she was something. She wanted like discounts. Yeah, she was a bit of a handful, and I was kind of a letdown. Like, of course, I always keep it professional. I'm not like, let me get a photo, I loved you. You know, I don't speak anything like about any of their work or anything. I treat them like a total normal person. Don't even bring that up. But yeah, I did have like a little bit of like high hopes for her to be like cute and be like a nice person, but she really put a bad taste in my mouth. She kind of treated me like the servant little people, you know, kind of the situation. I've had like Ashley in this system, Miss Tisdale in the system at like several different places that I've worked, and she is a chronic returner. So She always wants a discount and she always wants to return it. She makes a sport of it. She's like a little bit of a Karen, if you know what I mean. However, in 2007, she made tons of purchases that she didn't try to return, aka the High School Musical heyday when the bankrolls were coming in, if that tells you anything. However, there's like big, huge, amazing people who were like so cool. I was working at a children's boutique when I first moved to LA, and I helped J-Lo like several times, and she was, I mean, like beyond incredible. Like, looked gorgeous, like a statue, had amazing skin, body amazing, and was just so humble, so down to earth, so normal, so sweet. Like, one of the best people that I probably ever worked with. So, you know, you can be on the opposite sides of the spectrum. You could be somebody who hasn't done anything in 10 years and just be rude for no reason. And then you can be somebody who's like literally on top of their game, killing it, and be, you know, just so cool and so awesome. So Ashley Tisdale is probably like the #1 bitch that I have. And J-Lo is probably like the coolest person that I've dealt with. Oh, another person that was just like on my last nerve, since we're on J-Lo, would be, do you remember when J-Lo was dating her backup dancer, CASPER? This was probably like 2012. It was like she dated him on and off again for a couple years. He would come into my work all the time. He would just have people carrying around like tons of clothes for him. He would try to use J-Lo's credit card, and we would like have to bring a manager out and like slow his roll. Like, I'm sorry, you can't use someone else's credit card, like without their ID, like, and he would name drop and be like, oh, that's my girl's card, I'm allowed to use that. He was just super over the top. He wanted to always go out the back entrance, and we were upstairs at, a mall, like a mall in LA, and the back entrance just literally led out into like a spare stock room that we had, and like a maze, and you couldn't get down from there. So we're like, no, I'm sorry, there's no back door. And he would walk in the front door. So it's like, nobody was paparazziing him either. But yeah, he would ask that every time, and he would shop with us like multiple times a week, and he would still be like, can I use the back door? So he was so extra. And then Ray J. Ray J was probably like the worst funny one though, because he was hilarious, and he would talk in third person. Like, he'd be like, Ray J doesn't like that. That's not Ray J's style. If you're trying to like style him with something, he'd be like, Ray J's not really about that right now. Or, oh yeah, Ray J likes that. Oh yeah, get that for Ray J. So he was really extra and funny, and he would talk to himself, and he would take like business calls, but it would seem like they were like fake business calls, like really, really loud, while he's like walking around, kind of wanting to like bring attention to himself. He just kind of act like he's a baller and stuff, but he never bothered me. Like, I didn't think he was rude. I just thought he was like, kind of like, oh Lord, when he comes in, like, I'm gonna have to pay all my attention to him for the next like 30 minutes, like say a prayer kind of a deal. Let's spill the tea and see who else. Oh, okay. So Rod Stewart has a daughter, Kimberly Stewart, and they had a really weird flop of a reality show that was super awkward and weird. If you're ever like, this is probably a good time during quarantine. If you're ever like drinking a bunch of Bud Light and you ran out of things to do, like watch that show. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll like pop a little picture up of it.
Hamptons.
Meet the Hamptons. Okay. So it's so...
Hold on. Hamilton's and the Hiltons or something.
It's the weirdest show you've ever seen. Like, it's really like a mix mash of like...
and Hamiltons.
Okay, Stewart's and Hamiltons. It's like a mix mash of all these weird, like, half celebrities, non-celebrity. I don't know. It's really weird. They're a hot mess. They're all drunk and crazy. Anyway, Kimberly Stewart came into work, and we have to like input client information for certain services and things like that. And she went off on one of my coworkers because he was like, would you please spell your last name for me? And she's like, you don't know who I am? You can't spell my last name? By the way, the kid who's doing this is like 21 at the time. Like, he has no idea who Rod Stewart is. Like, I didn't even know that that was her until she gave her name. But she was just very like, you don't know me. Excuse me. I am all of this. And da-da-da. And just kind of went off on him. And he was like such a sweet, shy kid. He felt like super awkward and upset and trying to like, oh, I'm sorry. I feel like that age demographic has never really, like, when you're 20, you haven't heard of Rod Stewart. Like, that's something like not even my parents liked, but maybe my grandparents liked. So it's really just not the generation. But she was super offended by that and kind of acted crazy, and then tried to like return something later that she wore to an award show. Little like, ooh, little drama right there. Yeah, she tried to bring in some shoes that were definitely walked on the bottom and won her money back for them. So they would do that a lot. They would try to like return something they wore somewhere, and you would have like a photo of them wearing it, and you'd be like, girl. Ooh, and here's another one that was like disappointing to me. Miss Lea Michele from Glee. My boyfriend were doing extra work for that show. He was like a featured extra at the time for a dancing episode, that one where they're dancing in the mall. And Miss Lea Michele was throwing like death daggers over at my boyfriend, like she wanted to kill him for like no reason. And she was just such a bitch. Like, she was mean to people on set. She was throwing like nasty looks. She just had this, she didn't look famous. Not, okay, that's too far. She was just like, I was like, she didn't look, you know, she's talented. She's a great singer. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that. And then we were warned about her. Like, other people were like, oh my God, she's made people cry before who work on set. Like, and then that girl, this is like a little extra tea on tea. That girl, Santana, the hot one who was in the show too. She ended up, after the show wrapped, writing this big old tell-all about how she's the worst and she's so rude and all these
really
crazy.
Nice. She was very, very cool.
And all the, do you want to come in here?
No,
and all these crazy stories about how she was an asshole. And I just believed it because after we had that experience with her and she was so rude with everybody on set and just acting like crazy diva Mariah Carey status, it was really weird. And that Santana girl, I can't think of her real name, but she's gorgeous. She was super nice. She was super nice. She came up and like said hi and wanted to like get people's names who were just sitting there for the day. Like, it was really cool and above and beyond, and she didn't even really need to be like that. That was like above what I expected. But yeah, Lea Michele was just like, oh, and like you kind of think that from her character. You're like, oh, I don't know about, and then it turns out she's really like that. But I was thinking maybe, you know, she's actually cool. No. She wasn't my favorite. So that was somebody that's like on the no list. I don't know. Maybe somebody took a shit in her trailer. I don't know what happened that day. You know, she could have had something going on personal. I don't know. Oh yeah. So the blonde girl from Two Broke Girls, Beth Behrs, she was so sweet. I helped style her. She was like amazing. Picked things out in like one moment. Was super happy. Really nice. I mean, super like sweet and down to earth, which is awesome. So there's like, you know, the good and the bad. But oh my God, when I tell you about Lea Michele, I was like, is she gonna bitch slap him? Like, it seemed like he had cheated on her or something. I'm like, whoa. And this is the first time seeing this girl, like, dead ass. Like, we've never met her. He never did anything else before that with her. It was really weird. So that was my little tea for the day. If you want to do a part 2, there's like a million more people. That's just who I can think of right now while I was finishing up my makeup, and now I'm finished. If you guys thought this was like fun or funny or exciting in any way, definitely let me know and I can do another one, because it's funny for me to just like relive the experiences and, you know, kind of like get it off my chest and like work through some of that trauma that's there. But I love you guys, and please subscribe and definitely check back because we're gonna have a lot more fun content coming your way.